Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2006 here in TEW 2020. It is time for our Great American Bash 2006 live from Dallas, Texas in front of 19,000 people at the American Airlines Arena. But before we get to that, a little bit of housekeeping. So the plan here is basically I will post this, on Friday, and then Monday will be the return of the TEW United Series for Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling. And then from there, things will be back on a regular keel. Just wanted to get things caught up here because I missed a couple shows. So we'll be back Pittsburgh Steel for TW9. And then hopefully some more changes will be coming soon. Because I really want to finish up this run to SummerSlam 06. Or end of August 06 and get things going to the turnover to TW9 for this series. I know I could just turn over at the mid-year, but I feel weird enough. And honestly, there's part of me that just actually wants to turn over at TW9, but there's enough people who said, wait until after SummerSlam that I decided to go with it. Regardless, let's get rolling as we start with our opening video. Of course, lots of, America's stuff as we focus on the big feuds, including the feud between the Nest and Evolution, the tag team feud with, Ray and Sydal, our new recently crowned tag champions, fighting off the Southern Syndicate. The big feud between, of course, Brother Ray, Truth, after Brother Ray turned on the Truth, and Goldberg, Eddy, Guerrero, and of course our world title feud of AJ Styles and Cass. And yeah, we're live in front of 19,000 people, like I said, and this opening video gets a 78. And it's time for our Cruiserweight title match, as Cassidy O'Reilly, who of course came in here as a big free agent who had been big on the indies for the past few years, including coming in multiple time and different sorts of NWA champions, came here with Mysti by his side, who had returned from being dead forever because it didn't have anything to do with her, and they teamed up and quickly won the Cruiserweight title off of Maverick Chance. And now Jimmy Rave, who's another recent newcomer to the company, has risen up pretty quickly and challenged O'Reilly. Of course, Mysti tried to play her games with Rave, but Rave basically blew her off. And now here we are fighting for the Cruiserweight title live here at Great American Bash. A back and forth match. You can sort of expect what happened here. Good match. Rave is doing some decent flying around stuff, but also some technical wrestling, going after Ray's brawling. He gets a heel hook. He takes him down with a belly to belly back mat slammed with his arm trapped. He did some a little bit of diving, but O'Reilly fights back with his own brawling. Hits a few big power moves, being the bigger cruiserweight. Eventually goes for a couple big super kicks, but Rave kicks out. O'Reilly picks him up for a big power bomb. Rave turns that into a Rana. He hits a quick face buster, goes off the second rope with a big flying clothesline, builds it up, and as O'Reilly goes up to rush him, he hits what he calls the drop to towel, which is a leg sweep, turns into a big modified Samoan drop for a near fall as Mysti puts his spot on the ropes. Rave is pissed about that. O'Reilly fights back, goes after him, picks him up into a big DDT, goes off the second rope with a leg drop for the near fall. Rave fights back. Eventually, Mysti gets on the apron to sort of argue with the ref. Rave comes over, but O'Reilly chases after Rave. O'Reilly gets out of the way. Mysti takes a bump off the ring apron, not like a major bump, but just sort of slips off. That allows Rave to actually hit him with the tilt-a-whirl into a crossface chicken wing, and it looks like O'Reilly is done, but Mysti slowly recovers off on the mat and puts her man's foot on the ropes. Rave is very pissed. O'Reilly comes from behind, hits a low blow, hits a big modified powerbomb, puts his foot on the ropes. 1, 2, 3. Your winner and still Cruiserweight champion is Cassidy O'Reilly. So, decent match here. Gets a 71. Rave gets a 65. O'Reilly gets a 59. Let's see here. Anything else? Yeah, O'Reilly's poor gimmick, but I can fix that. Essentially, for most of the stuff, I'm just going to wait until the new game does change over anything. But post-match, O'Reilly and Mysti celebrate to the boos of the crowd as this gets a 36. And the announcers put over O'Reilly and Mysti will be a tough combination in the Cruiserweight division for anybody else. And next up is our women's tag team match, as of course the European Disunion team of Busic and Mayhem won the titles recently off of the social scene, and there was a question on who Nitro would be their contenders. Celine and Cartier actually pinned Busic on Nitro, but he needed to find a partner, and I found that partner in the form of Tricia Skye. Tricia Skye has been busy with her own stuff against Penny Grable, but with Captivation seemingly fighting amongst themselves. Tricia Skye is now focused on the Women's Tag Team Championships and teaming up with Busic and with Cartier to take on Busic and Mayhem. And this match is pretty simple. There's some brawling at the start between Cartier and Mayhem, with Cartier actually getting the advantage, hitting a few big chops and actually hitting a hitting her down with a big lariat, then hitting some like face washes on Mayhem. She continues like sort of being aggressive, eventually tagging in Tricia, who, you know, hits a big diving crossbody, then hits the Luce's press, picks up Molly Mayhem for a big suplex. Molly blocks it, turns it into a suplex of her own, does some brawling, but Tricia Skye fights back, but you know, Busic comes up and nails Tricia Skye, and, you know, we get a bit of a heel heat segment as Busic gets tagged in and uses her technical skill to take down Skye into a variety of submissions. You know, Skye, you know, Busic fights out of it. I mean, Skye fights out of it. You know, and Busic gets a little frustrated. Actually goes for a big for the Kryptonite Crunch, but Tricia Skye turns that into a big bulldog. Ties in Cartier, who you know, comes in House of Fire, hits a big lariat, hits a big power slam on Busic, goes up top for a diving headbutt, but Busic gets out of the way, turns into a submission hold of her own. Cartier slowly gets to the ropes, and, you know, Busic takes her time to break it up, pulls her back into the middle ring, tags in Mayhem, but that allows Cartier to get the revenge. Mayhem goes for a big gut wrench. Cartier blocks it, fights out of it, actually hits a big Samoan drop, goes up top, second rope, goes for a moonsault, absolutely nails it to a big pop, picks up Mayhem, hits a cradle DDT, tags in Tricia Skye. Tricia Skye comes in, chick kick, goes for the sky's the limit, but Busic basically, you know, shakes the ropes as she's going for it. Mayhem turns it into a powerbomb for a near fall. Cartier comes in for the save, big old brawl, things, you know, get broken, you know, get broken up. Eventually, you know, Cartier actually comes in, gets tagged in, picks up Mayhem, goes for the, you know, hits a big lariat, goes for the Cisleve Emerald Trojan. Busic is able to block it into a DDT, tags in we've seen Busic. Busic comes in, hits a big German suplex, followed by another one, picks her up and tries to lock into submission. But Cartier gets out of it. Tricia Skye comes back in, gets tagged back in. House of Fire goes for this guy's, hits a chick kick, goes for this guy's limit. Boom. You know, points back to Cartier, who wants the tag in to sort of finish this off. Tags in Cartier. She actually, instead of just going for the pin, actually picks her up again for another Cisleve. She turns it into, you know, Busic elbows out of it, hits her with an eye gouge, slips into a submission right in the middle of the ring. Cartier Skye goes to come in for the save, but the ref stops him. That allows Mayhem to come through and actually drill Cartier in the head with the women's title belt. Ref turns back around. Cartier is out of it, calls for the bell. Busic and Mayhem keep hold of the women's tag team championships here at Great American Bash. Match itself gets a 65, and the part where it talks about pinfall. Mayhem gets a 55, Busic gets a 58, Cartier gets a 66, Skye gets a 70. Big one here, and post-match, you know, Skye goes to help Cartier up as the heel celebrate, but Cartier pushes Skye away, and she walks away as this gets a 68. It seems like Cartier is a little bit frustrated about what happened here at the Great American Bash. And next up is a big six-man match. Of course, we have the new chosen few as Tank Toland seemingly almost accidentally became a member of the stable after he was talking to Devine, and Jarrett walked in just assuming he wanted to be a part of it. They teamed up, defeated AMW with help from Jarrett, leading, you know, AMW wanted to measure revenge, and Lance Storm stepped in as their six-man partner, and here we are. And this match, I mean, I don't want to say it's a spot fest, but, like, this is not like everybody's coming in and getting their shit in, honestly. You know, we have a big brawl right from the start. Beijing get the advantage. You know, James Worm comes in with a big, you know, sort of like high knee, hitting his super kicks, hitting the sling blade for a near fall. But Jarrett comes in, we get a bit of a brawl. Jarrett does some brawling and kitching, but Harris fights back. We get a double team on Jarrett as he hit the bear running lariat on Jarrett early to get a near fall until Devine runs in. Devine comes in, you know, eventually gets tagged in. You know, him and Toland work together as a team actually for a little bit on Chris Harris. Chris Harris fights back, you know, is able to get the advantage back on Devine, but Devine goes low, tags in Toland. Toland comes in, does a bit of brawling and power stuff, including a big, you know, hitting a big spear, followed by his one-arm spinebuster for a near fall. Eventually, he goes for another one. Harris blocks it, tags in Lance Storm. Storm comes in and, you know, hits a big super kick and then locks in, goes for the Canadian Leaf on Tank Toland, but Devine comes in and hits a big drop kick. Hits a big, you know, sort of like running drop kick on him. We get another big old brawl to break things up. Harris, you know, AMW eventually gain the actual advantage. on Tank Toland. Toland, Storm hits a big lung blower, walks right into a can attack from Chris Harris, but Devine makes a save Toland makes a save at the last second. We get another big brawl. Jarrett comes in, hits a low blow on Harris. Devine gets tagged in, goes for the Devine intervention, but Harris gets his foot on the ropes. Big pop for that. Jeff Jarrett Harris tags Toland back in. Toland comes in, hits the one-arm spinbuster, goes for his tank turret, which is basically just like sort of a spinning double X handle. You can sort of like a modified Russian lariat, I guess. But Harris gets under, hits him with a big spear, tags in Storm. Storm comes in, goes to lock in the Maple Leaf. Toland, breaks his eyes, hits a roll up, Jarrett tags himself in, which sort of upsets Toland. Jarrett goes to work on Lance Storm. Lots of shin breakers, knee breakers, slowing things down, and eventually goes for the figure 4 leg lock. But Lance Storm slowly and essentially reverses it. Jarrett grabs the ropes. Things get breaking up. We get the slow tag for both members. Harris, James Storm and Devine are the two men who get tagged in. Harris comes in, hits a big, hits a couple big drop kicks. Devine fights back with his own flying. Devine actually getting the advantage, throws him into the corner, goes for a big splash in the corner. Harris gets out of the way. Jarrett comes in to make the save, but Harris actually gets out of the way, and Jarrett actually rolls, nails. Jarrett comes in, but misses. And the heels almost run into each other. They go after Harris. Storm comes in, big old brawl. Things get out of control. Jarrett goes to bring in the guitar, but James Storm, Chris Harris, who's now the legal man, gets out of the way. Simply John Devine gets brained with the guitar. Chris Harris picks him up. Boom, catatonic. 1, 2, 3. Here's another match. Our Lance Storm and America's Most Wanted getting the big victory here over the Chosen Few at Great American Bash. Really fun match. 82. Toland gets a 75. Devine gets a 70. Jarrett gets a friggin' 95. Again, if I'm being honest here, probably the guy I've underpushed the most the last year or so is probably Jarrett. Storm gets a 72. Harris gets a 69. Lance Storm gets a 78. And then, baby faces celebrate, leave the ring. And, Jarrett is upset, actually begins to yell at both Devine and Toland. Devine looks over at Toland, and then Devine and Toland start beating the crap out of Jeff Jarrett. And seemingly we have the end of the Chosen Few here at Great American Bash. The crowd still boos Jarrett because he's been a heel forever, but they also boo Devine and Toland as they walk to the back as Jarrett slowly recovers. 69, and big moment here, as I guess this is the end of the Chosen Few. Maybe, perhaps, who knows? All I know is America's Most Wanted have gone a bit back on the winning track, and along with Lance Storm getting a big victory here at Great American Bash 2006. Next up is another title match as Alyssa Alexander walks into Great American Bash with the women's title, taking on Penny Grable, of course, the 50s traditionalist. Got a big win over Tricia Skye, and that's how you earned her number one contendership. And now, they're facing off here. Pretty simple. You're not going to make it a title defense. Penny Grable wanted to defend the title. And of course, Penny Grable is now the new leader of Captivation after she talked Lexi James and Desiree Dawkins and turning on Lacey Dumas. So that's sort of the setup for the match. And, basically we have, Alexander's more the technical wrestler, and Grable's like doing things old school style in a sense, but still throwing some normal moves. Like she hits a big bulldog instead of like the normal woman's hair toss, hits a couple drop kicks. Actually hits some suplexes early, but Alexander fights back. She hits a big Samoan drop on Grable. Then, Grable goes out of the ring, so Alexander actually goes out to the outside, and it's a big missile, it's a big drop kick from the ring apron to the floor on Grable to a pop. Throws her back in, goes for an air raid crash, but Grable blocks it, turns it into a takedown, hits a quick hammerlock DDT, and starts working on on Alexander's neck with some stomps and kicks. Whether that's traditionalist or not is up to you. She blocks in a long armbar and then another long hammerlock as Alexander fights out of it, eventually reversing it, and turns that into a submission hold of her own. Grable gets to the ropes, and then Grable, actually scratches the eye out of the with the referee looking the other way for the moment. And, that allows Grable to take advantage. And then we have Lexi James coming down the ringside, seemingly, hopefully, looking to help out her new stable leader, Penny Grable. Grable takes advantage, hits another big bulldog, actually sends Alexander into the corner, and she goes for the gender roll, which is a chaos theory, but as she's locking on the German suplex, rolling first cradle part, Alexander reverses it, turns into her own big German suplex. Grable rolls out of the ring, beside Lexi James, and with both women on the floor, Alexander hits a big tope suicide onto both women to a big pop as the crowd pops. And then, but as she's getting up, Penny Grable, and she's distracted by Lexi James, Penny Grable attacks Alexander from behind and throws her into the, ringside barrier. Grable rolls back in the ring and starts to distract the ref, and it looks like Lexi James is going to get some more offense in on Alyssa Alexander when Lizzie Dumas comes down to the ringside area and starts brawling with her former stablemate Lexi James. And even though Lexi James, Lizzie Dumas still isn't getting a bunch of cheers from the crowd, she gets a pop from there as Lexi, runs through the crowd. That means Penny Grable actually has to go back and get Alexander. She rolls Alexander back in, sends her into the corner. Boom. Rolls through, rolling first cradle. General chaos theory, but Alexander kicks out at 3 as the announcers put over that she gave Alexander too much time to recover, thinking Lexi James would actually beat her down. Grable is a little bit frustrated, goes to throw her into the corner again. Alexander reverses it, turns into a big suplex of her own, hits a big lariat, goes up top, missile drop kick, sends her into the corner. Kudo driver, belly back-to-back, double underhook power driver, boom! Big pop for that. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, and still WCW Women's Champion, is All That Alyssa Alexander. Match itself gets a 74, 12 minutes. Nothing fancy here, just a straightforward win for Alexander. Grable getting 66, Alexander gets a 64. And post-match, Alexander celebrates with the title as the announcers put over. She's having a good first strong run as Women's Champion, as part of this new generation of women's wrestler that has come up in the last couple years, as that gets a 53. Then it's time for a big single match between two of the top stars on Nitro, as it's Ken Anderson versus Alex Wright. Of course, Anderson was feuding with Finesse, and that seemingly ended after Redrum Turn on the Truth. But then on the first episode of Nitro, after the last pay-per-view, there was a big battle royal for the number 1 contendership, and Anderson looked like he was going to get a strong win here, but he and Alex Wright got into it, and they eliminated each other, and that's where we are. Alex Wright, of course, thinks he's Das Wunderbar, the best wrestler on the Nitro roster, and Ken Anderson is, an a-hole, thinks cocky himself, but the fans love him for it, and that's sort of the setup for this match. Pretty simple here, two strong, both guys really over, two guys who I didn't expect to get this over, especially Anderson. Anderson is actually somebody I'm slightly worried about the turnover to TEW9, because I think he got a really great Destiny role, because he got over Rover the moment I pushed him. But we'll see. Maybe he'll have his real life mid-2000s downturn, or he'll become a top guy. Who knows? Regardless, the match itself here is, what do you expect? Anderson doing some brawling, some mid-2000s US Pro stuff. Alex Wright fighting back with his own technical wrestling. Hits a big drop kick followed by German suplex early on. Tries a lock in the double arm DDT. Anderson fights off. Hits a big knee left. Goes for the STO mic check. Wright blocks it. Turns it into his own takedown. Wright, works on Anderson's neck slowly but surely. Stops, takedowns, knee drops, all that fun stuff. Picks him up. Hits a Northern Light suplex for near fall in the middle of the match. Wright, Anderson, gets out of a German suplex attempt. Anderson gets out of a German suplex attempt, turns into his, hits a big, couple elbows, goes back on the fight. Fight spills to the outside. That allows Anderson to take advantage. Throws Wright into the ringside barrier, picks him back in. Anderson is out on the outside ring apron. Boom, big senton kenton bomb for near fall. Then he picks up for the Green Bay plunge, but Wright elbows out of it, turns into a takedown into a modified submission. Anderson fights out of it, powers out of it, some more brawling. Wright takes the advantage, Wright hits it in Seguri, then picks him up. Boom, double arm DDT, but Anderson is too close to the ropes. Crowd's upset about that. Anderson, gets back on the advantage. Wright takes, Anderson gets back on the advantage, hits a big knee lift, hits the mic check STO, picks him up, Green Bay plunge, boom, big pop. 1, 2, no, right foot is under the rope. Anderson is pissed, starts to argue with the ref. Wright comes from behind, hits him with a low blow, picks him up, double arm DDT, and then goes to the pinfall. 1, 2, no. Anderson kicks out to a big pop. Now Wright is pissed. Anderson picks him up. They both pull to the outside. On the outside, Anderson goes to send Wright into the corner, but Wright turns it around. Boom. Anderson takes a big bump over the steps. And then, as ref tries to get control, Wright picks him up. Double arm DDT on the floor. Sends it back inside. And then he picks him up again. Anderson fights out of it. And then, boom, another double arm DDT. Goes for the pinfall. Foot on the ropes. 1, 2, 3. Alex Wright gets a tainted, but still a win here at American Bash over Ken Anderson, as the match is really good. 90, Wright gets an 84, Anderson gets an 81. Everything really pops up. Hot crowd, segment length, but yeah, so really if this was like a 16 or 17 minute match, it really could have been maybe a 92 or 93. But then again, Anderson might not have been able to do this long of a match. But a huge win for Alex Wright here, as he gets the win here at Great American Bash. And post-match, he celebrates to the boos of the crowd, as that gets a 73. And now it's time for a big 8-person chaos match, as the team of Evolution, Lashley, Claudio Cesaro, along with their manager Ric Flair, commit stepping back into the ring for the first time in over a year and a half. And their teammate here tonight, ODB, takes on the nest of Raven, Redrum, the former Jonathan Toro, Prophet, and Morrigan in a big 8-person tag match. And this match is chaos right from the jump. Like, there is no catch-as-can wrestling. There is no moves here. This is just big old brawl. And we get ODB and Morgan brawling here from the start. And, they sort of, brawl right out of the ring, just sort of, not even really be in their own little match. Cesaro gets some big spots in, hitting some big European uppercuts. Flair gets to chop some people around. Lashley throws people around. Redrum does his own brawling. Raven gets his spots in. Eventually, it's not announced as an ODQ match, but the ref let things go. We get some Seymour Canes, we get some chair shots, we get some big table shots, and we get more all through the match. At the midpoint of the match, it really looks like, about 5 or 6 minutes in, Lashley goes crazy, hitting some big spears on Redrum, on Prophet, and even on Raven, but Morgan actually comes in and hits him with a big elbow to break things up, and we get a bit of a moment as Lashley has faced down with a woman and doesn't know what to do, and allows Raven to come attack him from behind and go on offense. But then, as it looks like Morgan's going to get her own shots in, ODB comes out of nowhere and restarts the brawl with her. They go on the outside, crash cans. ODB takes a table bump through a table that was set up earlier. Back in the ring, we get we're 3-on-3. Flair's going wild. He comes in with his own big chops, going crazy on Redrum and Prophet. We get Flair and Raven fighting. Flair gets the advantage. Actually hits a big shin buster, hits the Bulldog, and goes a lock on the figure 4 in the middle ring on Raven. But boom, big boot from Toro, and we get a throw-in beatdown as Cesaro tries to make the save. And then Lashley gets a one burst of offense, including a big press slam on Raven, which sends him to the outside. But that allows, out of nowhere, Jonathan Toro to come from him, knock him to the outside, and Prophet is able to nail, with Flair having to take the throw-in beatdown. Prophet hits a big second rope splash. Ref recovers. Goes to the pinfall. 1, 2. ODB tries to make a desperate save. It's a moment too late. 3. And the Nest get the victory here at Great American Bash. And the match was what it was. It was 10 minutes, and yeah, so overall, 69. Morgan gets a 59. Prophet gets a 63. Redrum gets a 66. Raven gets a 76. Lashley gets a 47. Cesaro gets a 72. Flair gets a 61 because he's old, and ODB gets a 59. But yeah, big heel win for the Nest, and they continue to beat down, as the crowd boos, as Flair, probably gigs because he's Ric Flair. But then the arena doesn't go black. The arena goes white. Then this symbol comes up on the Fusionatron, and then out comes, for the first time since Starrcade, Morningstar, but now he is more of a fallen angel as he comes out and goes to Wild, taking out, Morrigan steps in front of him. He, absolutely throws her out of the ring. Prophet comes in. He gets beat down. Redrum comes in. There's a bit of a brawl, but Raven hits a big suplex on him, sends him out of the ring. Raven comes in, and, Raven slips out of the ring, backing off. Redrum Prophet comes in for the attack. The Fallen Angel fights him up, hits the Angel Wings, best moves all over, to the cheers of the crowd, as yes, the Fallen Angel has returned. And I forgot to turn him face. That was my bad. He's obviously face. I'll just do it on Nitro. That's my fault. But 89 adds, so a little bit of back booking stuff on this. What made this take so long is the Brother Ray, Truth, and Anderson feud got hotter and lasted longer than I thought it would. So I needed to sort of build up the heel turn of Brother Ray, which means I needed to put this off. I originally wanted to do this in March or April, but I just sort of blew the timing. So here we are, it's June, and now the Fallen Angel has returned. Not Morningstar anymore, just the Fallen Angel. Now it's time for a big match here as the Truth tries to get a major revenge from Brother Ray, as, Brother Ray thinks that he needs to do this out of respect to get some respect from Truth, but Truth is just out of respect for Brother Ray, for his brother ally in arms here, as this is a brawl right from the start. This match is not some, again, we're not going wild here. This is just two men beating the crap for each other right from the start. And, Truth hits a hot start, hits a big set-off hip toss, hits a big enziguri, hits a belly back suplex, hits the scissors kick to a big pop, picks him up, hits the sit-out inverted suplex plan, the Truth conviction. Then as Brother Ray gets up, goes for the lie detector, Brother Ray gets out of the way, and then Brother Ray goes back on the offense, sends him to the outside. We get some brawling on the floor. We get a big boot from Brother Ray. We get a slam on the floor. Brother Ray then, picks him up. Boom, slam onto the ringside table. But then Truth rolls away before he can do much more. Brother Ray goes back on offense, throwing him back inside. Flapjack slam, goes to the second rope. Diving shoulder block on the Truth, but Truth gets out of the way. Truth picks him up for a big slam to a big pop. Then picks him up, jumping reverse STO to a huge pop, as it, otherwise known as What's Up. Truth goes back on offense, does some more brawling, but Ray fights back, reverses it, hits a big spinebuster, picks Truth up for a power bomb, but Truth turns into a into a face slam. Truth goes for the lie detector again, but as he's going for it, Brother Ray catches him actually, and it's a big suplex to a pop, because that's impressive, he's a big old dirty heel, hits the big boot, goes off the second rope, diving shoulder block, picks him up for the Brother Ray bomb. Truth turns it into a jawbreaker. Brother Ray rolls out of the ring. Truth dives through with a big dive. We get another big brawl, and this time, Truth actually puts Brother Ray on the table. He goes to the ring apron, big dive, but Brother Ray gets out of the way. Truth takes the bump through the table. Truth sends him in. Brother Ray sends him in. Big boot. Diving shoulder block. Full Nelson bomb. Brother Ray bomb. Whatever you want to call it. 1, 2, 3. And unfortunately, for the Truth, the Brother Ray gets the win here on Great American Bash. It gets a 90 as well. Brother gets a 92. Truth gets an 86. This was a wild brawl as you'd expect. Let's see here. Yeah. Capped with a short match length, but, this was not going to be a 20-minute classic. This was two guys beating the crap out of each other for 13 minutes. And post-match, Brother Ray celebrates the booze of the crowd as this gets a 74. So yeah, big win here. Unfortunately, sort of future booking is why I got Brother Ray the win here, as you guys will hopefully see in the next upcoming months. Then we get a quick Bash at the Beach commercial involving, Natty Hart and Nikki Radcliffe in bikinis, because this is 2006, they were serious women's wrestlers. Or maybe, Nikki Radcliffe is partying on the beach. And we got, Rob Van Dam, hanging out, Rob Van Dam and Kurt Angle looking intense as, it's a Revolution brand pay-per-view, as it gets a 57, as it's just a quick commercial. And then after that, we go backstage, where Ray LePen is with Eric Bischoff, and, Ray LePen is talking about his big victory on Revolution, and that is why he's not defending the U.S. title, as he is finished with his title defenses for the next 30 days, As an international star such as him, shouldn't have to defend the title as much. Eric Bischoff is, Bischoff is a little perturbed about not having a U.S. title match, but he understands. But then, as Le Pen is about to leave, he's interrupted by, Maverick Chance steps in the ring, and Le Pen sort of brushes off, saying, "That's to create a title. What I have to do with you?" Bischoff says, "Well, controversy creates cash, so why not tomorrow night on Nitro, Maverick Chance gets a non-title match against you, Ray Le Pen, and if you get the victory here, then you won't have to worry about any defenses on Nitro for the next little bit." Le Pen thinks about it and says, "That is fine. He is willing to do an international star like me." So here we go, a non-title match set up for tomorrow night on Nitro. And this gets an 80, mostly thanks to Le Pen and Bischoff. Now it's time for a big tag title match as Roman Jr. and Matt Sydal, fresh off winning the titles at Slamboree and Aerial Assault, make their first defense against the team of the Southern Syndicate. Of course, Ray Gordy, recently made his return in the last few months, teaming with Jamie Noble as Southern Syndicate. Noble has had a long-time feuds with Roman Jr. at Matt Sydal in the past year on Nitro. Of course, Sydal and Noble fought over the TV not TV championship. Maybe it was. Now I forget. Anyway, then Rey Mysterio Jr. and Noble had their own feud until Ray Gordy showed up, and now basically Noble has been putting it over Ray Jr. that Ray Jr. is due for beat him 1-on-1 in the ring, and now they're fighting off in this tag title match, and this match is exactly what you expect. The reality is Ray Jr. and Sydal are the champs, but they're not a loyal team like Southern Syndicate are, and that's sort of like the story of the first part of the match. As we get Ray Gordy hitting a few, because he's slightly bigger than everybody else. He's not like a big guy, but in this match he's sort of the biggest guy. He hits some big power moves, and that allows Noble to come in with his own sort of like submission holds on both Ray Jr. and Sydal, keeping things slowed down. He hits a big series of suplexes on Sydal, then points at Ray Jr. That allows Sydal actually to get a bit of an advantage and come out of nowhere with a big head scissors takedown on Noble that has Ray Gordy coming in, and then the fight is on. But eventually Matt Sydal actually hits a catapult on Jamie Noble, then nails him with a quarter drop kick, tags in Ray Jr., who of course does a lot of Ray Jr. stuff. We got head scissors takedowns, we get cross bodies, we get some arm drag spins, we get a bulldog DDT, all sorts of fun stuff. But as he goes, as he sends Noble into the corner and goes for a big monkey flip, Noble turns that into a takedown of his own. Noble then goes to work on Ray's knee, because we always go to work on Rey Mysterio's knee. Take him down, knee breaker, drops the leg on the knee, hits a high knee of his own, picks him up, gut buster, and then he picks him up into a dragon sleeper. Ray fights out of it, and eventually kicks out of it. Ray Gordy gets tagged in, hits a big fisherman suplex on Rey Mysterio Jr., then picks him up, kick to the stomach, gets a position, big tiger driver for the near fall until Matt Sydal makes a save. Ref comes in, ref breaks things up, but we get a big 4-person brawl. Eventually, Ray Gordy sends on the outside, and now Rey Mysterio Jr. gets a big dive, but then Noble comes in and hits a missile drop kick on Noble. Then Matt Sydal comes in with a big springboard, wild, corkscrew drive onto everybody, and all 4 men are down on the outside. Back inside, slowly, Noble and Ray Jr. are our legal, Matt Sydal and Ray Gordy are our legal men. Gordy picks up Sydal again, hits a big German suplex, hits a big German suplex, followed by a gut wrench suplex, goes to the second rope, diving leg drop, ATL jam for a near fall, picks him up, boom, tiger suplex by Ray Gordy, but he gets another near fall as Sydal kicks out because he's a little frustrated, goes for a big power bomb, but Sydal turns that into a Rana out of nowhere. Sydal actually, then hits a big head scissors takedown, standing moonsault for a near fall, and then Ray Gordy slowly getting up. Sydal jumps up to the outside, to the top rope, big diving double knee drop to Gordy as he's standing up for a near fall. Noble comes in for the save. Then Ray Gordy comes from behind, does a trot block to Sydal, and we get a long, slow beatdown of Sydal in the heel corner, quick tags, quick beatdown, and eventually Noble has Sydal ready. Boom, looks right over at Ray Jr., hits him with a big sit out double under powerbomb. hits the diving leg drop of his own, and then goes to lock in the cloverleaf, and Sydal slowly but surely, gets to the ropes. Noble pulls him back into the center of the ring, and then locks in the trailer hitch, but Matt Sydal refuses to give up. Slowly but surely, battles out of it, but Noble goes to lock it back in. Sydal slips out, hits a big quick drop kick to knock Noble down, flies over, tagging to Ray Jr. Ray Jr. is a house of fire, going right after Jamie Noble. Ray Gordy comes in. Sydal, comes in, hits a big sort of a tackle on Gordy, throws him to the outside. Sydal goes up onto the top rope. Big corkscrew splash on the Gordy on the outside to take him out. Noble goes after Ray Jr. Ray Jr. gets out of the way. Boom. Diving Hurricanrana for a near fall. Hits a big, sends Noble into the ropes. 619, West Coast pop. 1, 2, no. But then Noble, goes low one more time. Goes for the Tiger Bomb. But of course, bad idea to try Powerbomb Rey Mysterio Jr. Not quite as bad as Kidman, but almost. Kidman turns it around. Does the quick turnaround. Boom. Spike Hurricanrana right on his head. And then Ray Jr. goes to the top rope. Hurricanrana, takedown. 1, 2, 3. Your winners and still World Tag Team Champions are Rey Mysterio Jr. and Matt Sydal. This gets an 80. Sydal gets a 78. Ray Jr. gets a 94. Noble gets an 89. Gordy gets a 70. Was hurt slightly by the heat of the storyline. Would have been maybe an 82 or an 83 without that. But fun stuff. And your winners, Ray Jr. and Sydal, celebrate with the tag titles, get 72, as they're still your tag team champions here at Great American Bash. It's time for our semi-main event, as two top guys here, two former world champions face off as Goldberg takes on Eddy Guerrero. Of course, this all started when Eddy Guerrero refused to be part of the Battle Royal on the first Nitro after St. Blurry, saying it was below him. That got Goldberg the next week to call him out. Then eventually, Guerrero went after Goldberg, and here we are. Two big guys taking on each other. Goldberg reminded him that he, got the win over Guerrero the last time they faced off. That got Eddy more pissed, and here we are. And, you could imagine how this match goes. This is just, Goldberg is a house of fire right from the start, going after Goldberg. Goldberg actually hits the big spear early, but, Guerrero gets out of the jackhammer, goes after Goldberg's knees and back to slow him down, tries to keep him, on the mat, eventually gets him to the outside of the ring, hits the big slingshot somersault senton on the Goldberg on the outside, but despite that, Goldberg still powers up, throws him into the ringside barrier, sends it back inside, goes for a spear, but actually, Eddy leapfrogs it, and then, as, Goldberg recovers after missing it, Eddy goes low, hits him with a quick tornado DDT, hits him with, then picks him up, boom, suplex. Boom suplex. Boom suplex. Three Amigos. Picks him up again. Blue Thunder Bomb. For near fall. Somehow getting the big man up. But Goldberg is out strong. Goldberg sends Eddy into the... Goldberg sends Eddy into the ring in the corner. Goldberg rushes. Eddy gets out of the way. Jumping over with sunset flip for near fall. Goldberg fights off. Hits, avoids again, but Eddy goes back on offense, but Goldberg fights off, and then, big brawl. Eddy fights out of it, goes for a brainbuster, but isn't able to get Goldberg up. Goldberg reverses it into a big gut wrench takedown, hits him with a big spear, but then as he's picking Eddy up for the jackhammer, Eddy is fighting out of it. Goldberg, walks over, and then he's trying to spin Eddy in to get in position. The ref gets knocked down. Goldberg is shocked. Eddy turns that into a quick DDT, and then he rolls out of the ring, getting something out of the ring. Goldberg looks at the ref, make sure he's okay, and then as Eddy steps back into the ring, slides back in the ring, Goldberg is ready for him. Boom, spear. Wait, Goldberg fell down. What the hell? And then Eddy pulls up his shirt, which he wore to the ring. And he had grabbed, and it looks like he grabbed a piece of metal, put it under his shirt, a la Bret Hart in 2001, and now Goldberg is laid out to the boos of the crowd. Eddy picks up Goldberg, brainbuster on the sheet of metal. The ref recovers, top rope, boom, frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Eddie Guerrero has used some lighting, some cheating, and some stealing to pick up the victory here at Great American Bash over Goldberg. 87-97 for Eddy, 93 for Goldberg. Lost some points because the heat for the feud wasn't quite here. I think I think it probably also wasn't long enough. Just lack of heat. Okay. So yeah, maybe, but again, Goldberg does not do 20-minute, spectacular matches. But still, really good match. And post-match, Eddie Guerrero celebrates. Eddy, Goldberg recovers, and Eddy, basically escapes up into the, backstage area as the announcers put over a big win for Eddie Guerrero here, even with the help from the middle sheet. As it gets a 70. And we move forward at this time for the world title match. Kaz getting his title shot against AJ Styles after winning the Battle Royal at the first Nitro. And of course, we have some build-up. AJ Styles telling Kaz to stand for himself. But in the end, Kaz sided with Nikeo as they've gotten where he is now. And Kaz comes out with Stacy Kiebler, 72, for their ring entrance. And then your world champion, AJ Styles, the face that runs this place, comes out to a 74. And as they face off and gets introduced, it's time for the world title match, AJ Styles versus Kaz. And yeah, we have some slightly updated pictures for both men. The only picture I could find of Kaz from the mid-2000s was him as part of some trading cards, so I had to sort of edit around that, but it's what it is. And we got AJ Styles in America gear, because hey, I actually just looked into that. But okay, here we go. World title match. Kaz, AJ Styles. You could sort of expect how this match goes. Kaz is Kaz, AJ Styles is AJ Styles, and these two men are going right after each other. They both think they're the best in the world. But Kaz, AJ Styles is more of the high energy top tier worker, and Kaz is just here to kick the shit out of you and keep on kicking the shit out of you and continue to kick the shit out of you no matter what. And that's sort of the story of the match early, as Kaz is hitting quick strikes. And, AJ Styles tries to fight back, sort of going for his, for DDT, for suplex, but Kaz is always ready to sort of roll out of it and sort of go right back on offense with some stiff strikes, quick forearms, as the announcers, put over, this is the style learned Kaz over in Japan. You think of smaller Japanese wrestlers as pure high flyers, but a lot of them are very, skilled in striking. They just don't get a chance against larger American opponents. But eventually, AJ Styles gets a bit of a offense here, as he is able to get Kaz to the outside, hits a big sort of plancha, and then throws Kaz back in, hits a discus clothesline, hits a diving knee drop, hits the sort of multiple move, sort of phenomenal strikes things he does. But then he sends Kaz into the corner, goes for the Pele kick, but Kaz gets out of the way, and then Kaz goes back on offense, slowing things down, beating down Kaz, quick strikes, takedowns. Actually, it's a big gut wrench suplex, then locks AJ into a modified submission. AJ slowly but surely fights out of it, rolls through, eventually gets to the ropes. But then, as he's getting up, Kaz hits him from behind, throw him to the outside. As AJ slowly recovers, Stacy yells at him. He yells back at Stacy, which allows Kaz to slide in and hit him from behind. Kaz sends him into the ringside barrier. Back inside. Throws him in. Big belly-to-belly suplex. Big German suplex. And he sets him up. Kick to the head. No, AJ is ready for him. Ducks under it. Belly back suplex. Kick to the thigh. Spinning back fist. Disc lariat. Near fall. 1, 2. No. Picks him up again. Kaz is up. Styles runs to the ropes. Phenomenal DDT. Moonsault into the DDT for another big near fall. 2 big pop. Then AJ goes to the outside. Sets up for the phenomenal forearm. But actually, Kenzo Suzuki is now at ringside. And instead of diving on Kaz, he actually does a springboard. Hits a springboard moonsault back onto Kenzo. But that allows Kaz to recover and come back and go after AJ Styles. You just go over maybe that was a mistake and was Stacy Kiebler's plan to think Kenzo was going to get, involved, but instead he was just a, sort of just a distraction, a decoy. Kaz throws AJ back in, butterfly suplex, and then he locks in a big Kaz mission right in the middle of the ring. But AJ, again, slowly but surely fights out of it. He, sort of uses his, one of the few matches he has the size advantage, gets Kaz back on his shoulders, backs into the ring apron once, twice, thrice to break apart the submission hold. But Kaz, AJ still is facing the, disadvantage here, as Kaz is able to hit him with a big clothesline from behind. And then, Kaz sets him up for the kick to the head, but AJ avoids it again, rolling to the outside. Kaz comes out, goes after him, but AJ is playing possum a bit this time as he ducks out of the way of a rush from Kaz. And then, AJ then throws Kaz in, but, is slow to get in the ring. Stacy Kiebler is up at ringside, distracting the referee, and then in comes Yang out of nowhere. He runs the ring apron and dives on AJ Styles, allows Kaz to come in and nail AJ Styles with a huge big boot on the outside, and then they roll AJ Styles back in. Kaz is ready. Boom! Kick to the head. 1, 2. AJ Styles barely gets his foot on the ropes to the cheers of the crowd. AJ is pissed. Stacy Kiebler is upset on the outside. Kaz is frustrated, but goes back on offense. Picks him up. A couple suplexes variations, and then he sets him up again. Half Nelson suplex. Sets him up for the Kaz mission, but AJ Styles reverses it, rolls through. Calf crusher right in the middle of the ring. But Kaz gets to the ropes himself. AJ back on offense. He actually, hits a big Pele kick on Kaz. Then he does a big diving suicida on both Yang and Kazuki to take him out. Stacy, yells at him. Then he just sort of ignores her. But, that's a distraction for Kaz actually hit a bit of a high flying move, his really first big one of the match. A side moonsault to the outside. And now Kaz, throws AJ back in. He hits a big springboard 450 for near fall. But then he picks him up. But AJ is ready for him. He is able to block it and hits a big suplex of his own. Hits a big DDT. Goes to the outside. Boom! Forearm for near fall. Picks him up for the Styles Clash, but Kaz fights out of it. But he gets him to the electric position. AJ turns that into a Frankensteiner, but Kaz sits down. Huge sit-down powerbomb for near fall. 1, 2. AJ kicks out. But then Kaz rushes him again. Nails him with the big running knee. Picks him up. Suplex of doom. And then he gets up. Kick to the head. But Stacy Kiebler punches the top rope as Stacy Kiebler wants Kaz to put him away. Kaz goes to the outside. Corkscrew moonsault. AJ gets his knees up at the last possible second. Throws it into a calf crusher. But Kaz gets to the ropes. But then, Stacy Kiebler gets back on the ring apron. Ref, is distracted again. Kenzo comes in, but AJ is ready for him. Sends him right into the corner. Pele kicks him to the outside. Kaz goes for the kick to the head. AJ ducks under. German suplex of doom. He crushes over. Pushes Stacy off the ring apron. She takes a bump. Probably his little, And then he gets on the outside. Phenomenal forearm. Picks up Kaz. Styles Clash. Rolls with the pinfall. 1, 2. Kaz barely kicks out right before 3. AJ picks him up again for the Styles Clash, but Kaz picks him up. Electric chair drop. And then Kaz actually takes AJ up to the top rope, but AJ is ready for him. Fights back. Eventually takes advantage, and boom! Styles Clash from the top rope. Rolls through. 1, 2, 3. Your winner. And still, WCW World Champion is AJ Styles. 89 overall. AJ Styles gets a 92. Kaz gets a 93. Unfortunately, hurt slightly by poor game for AJ and the lack of heat for the storyline, but still, a really good match. And post-match, AJ Styles celebrates. He is still your world champion. Overall, show itself gets a 92. And so, we get Kaz, great performance. Honestly, Goldberg great performance. Who did a lot better than I thought they would? Honestly, Ken Harrison. Great performance. So there we go. That's pay-per-view. Really good show. I was hoping the main event would get like a random 97 or something, but you can't always get what you want. And we'll do some quick check-ins on overness and such for some of our like guys who got some big wins here. But I'm not expecting a bunch of huge changes. But we'll just see what happens here when it pops up. Survey says as this loads up. All right. Ooh. No. I'll deal with that later. Chavo, you're going to get some wins. I'm sorry, buddy, but anyway. Okay, we gained a user talent point. That's interesting. Okay, Grim Crash is now highly regarded. So user talent point. I mean, I know it doesn't matter because we're moving on to TEW9, but honestly, sure, increase that by 1. So, top 100s. So, that's our second best pay-per-view. Buy rate wise, our best buy rate in a little bit. We fell down a little bit after those shows. Yeah. Match wise, that was like our best match a little bit. I mean, if we had the big pay-per-view match. So, yeah. Wait. Yeah. These two were really good. AJ, where is, sorry, I'm being dumb here. Where is, right, that was an 89. So, yeah. Really good show. So, again, Champions check-in, Cruiserweight Champion still Cassidy Riley. Your US Champion is still Ray LePen. Women's World Champion is still Alyssa Alexander. Women's World Tag Team Champions Mayhem and Busic. World Champion is still AJ Styles. Tag Team Champions are Ray and Sydal. And Television Champion is Siaki. And let's see here. Let's do some quick check-ins on Overdisc, because I just want to check on some things before we go today. So, AJ Styles, how are you doing, buddy? 87, which might be his pop cap, or might be just I haven't gotten many wins over people who matter. Alyssa Alexander, how are we doing with you? Okay, yeah, slowly getting more over. She's actually might be able to be a pretty decent win here. Goldberg, did you take any heat for losing to Eddy? Nah, I mean, you lost a couple points, but you'll survive. Let's see here, Brother Ray. 81 might be old Ray's pop cap here, but he did get a win back here over Truth, so he gained some points. Cassidy Riley. Okay, yeah, again, Riley has gotten some big wins, so he's getting slowly more over. Let's see here. Eddy. Is 87 your pop cap? No, you gained a point, so maybe not. Okay, did Jarrett lose anything? He wasn't pinned, so I don't think he should. Yeah, he's fine. Let's see here, Kaz. Ooh, looks like he dropped a couple points. No, okay, actually he gained a point. Okay, yeah. And he's not as peak when they were the tag champs, but still really good. Kennerson, did you lose anything for losing to old Alex, right? Let's see here. No, he's 82. Oh, yeah, that's who I forgot to check in. Alex, how are you doing, buddy? Oh, yeah, Wright is really over. Yeah, but 85 is either his pop cap or he hasn't beaten anybody else that would increase it yet. Matt Sydal, how are you doing? Okay. Again, slowly getting more over. Team with Ray Jr. sure tends to help out. Let's see here. Penny Grable. About where she's been. Raven. Still really over. Ray Jr. still really over. Fallen Angel. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. He comes in where he's been the last few months while he's been off TV. Tricia Skye. Let's see here. I think I've heard Tricia's, like, overness. Yeah. She needs to regain some pop. Like, she has not had the best 2006, but I'll rebuild her. Same thing for, I think, Celine. Yeah, Tricia, I have some plans for Tricia and Celine to help them out. But yeah, there we are. That's the pay-per-view. Really fun show. Really enjoyed it. But again, as I said at the start of the show, plan is to go back to more of a normal schedule here. We just wanted to get some catch-up here with Great American Bash. But yeah, next up is, of course, Bash at the Beach. Then before Bash at the Beach, we'll be taking over Impact for their July pay-per-view as is tradition. Then we'll have Bash at the Beach. Then it'll be Mayhem Tournament. And then we'll have then we'll have SummerSlam as I take over WWE to end things. And then after that, it'll be September, and we'll be moving over to TEW9. But that's all for now. If you enjoyed this, go give it a like. Comment below what you're liking and not liking. Of course, subscribe to the channel for this series, my TEW9 series for Still Wrestling, and who knows what else might pop up. But that's for now. Talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.